In this video, we're going to look at how we work with slide layouts in Keynote on the Mac. With slide layouts, what we're able to do is set a default slide that we want to use and use that throughout our presentation. When we make a change to that default slide, it'll change it on every slide that we've used in that presentation. Let's see what I mean. Let's go to my Mac. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is show you how this works or why we would want to use slide layout. So I'm going to switch to a different presentation. I'm actually going to go up to File here, and then we're going to go to a presentation that I created, Keynote Mac Class. This is the presentation that I use when I teach my classes. So I select it, it opens up. Now this presentation is based off of slide layouts. The reason why I want to use slide layouts is I can easily make a change to one of those slide layouts and it's going to apply to all of the slides that include that slide layout. Every time you add a slide to your presentation, it's based off of a slide layout. When I go to add slide here, these are my slide layouts. These are the slide layouts that this theme particularly has. If I want to add one from dance tutorials, there's my slide that it'll be based on. I can add it for the topic, and then I also have just a blank one. So when I select this slide here, if we go over to the right, under Format, you're going to see the slide layout is Dance Tutorials. But when I go to my second one here, this one here is my topic layout. So it's based off of a couple of different layouts, or my slide presentation includes a couple of different layouts. We go to this next one here. It's my topic again. Now, when we're looking at this, you're going to see it says Keynote for the Mac, and it is a little bit of a yellow color. And it's like this on every single slide. As I'm clicking through here, you can see it's like that on every single slide. Let's say I was making a presentation on Keynote for the iPhone. So I need to change this wording on every single slide. I also want to change the color. I need to do that on every single slide. Well, being that this is based off of a slide layout, I can make that change in the slide layout, and then it'll apply that change to all of these slides. This is why you want to use slide layouts. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is just double click on this text here. What it's going to do is ask me to edit the slide layout because that text is on the slide layout. You'll see what I mean when I select this. So now I am looking at my slide layout. There are my 3 slides. If we go over to the right, there's my text. So now what I'm able to do is change this. So I want to change this to iPhone, and I want to change the color. And I'm making this change to my slide layout. So let's go ahead and change this. We're going to go with red here. We can see that that is red. So now watch what happens when I click on Done here. It changed it on all of my slides. It now says Keynote for iPhone Class. And it is in red on every single one of these slides. The one slide that it didn't change was this one here. This is still Dance Tutorials, and it is orange. That's because this is based off of a different slide layout. So that's why slide layouts are very important, especially if you have a lot of slides. What you're able to do is make a change on one slide, and it'll change it on all of your other slides. So now let's go back over to our other presentation. I'm going to close this. So we have my Tulip Time presentation. If we go up to Add Slide here, these are all the different slide layouts that I have. So if I wanted to modify any one of these, all I have to do is just edit that slide layout. And if we look here, you're going to see that this particular slide is based on titles and bullets. We have this slide here, which is title and top. And then if we go to the very bottom here, we have this slide here, which is title and subtitle. So all these are based off of different slide layouts. If I go to my title and top again, so this one here is my title and top. And this slide here is also based off of title and top. So I have these 2 slides that are title and top. If I make a change to that particular slide layout, what it will do is change it on both of these slides. I can go over to Edit Slide Layout here, click on it, and any changes that I make in here are going to be applied to those two slides or any other slide that includes this slide layout. So now let's take a closer look at what we can do with these slide layouts. I'm actually going to go to Done here. This is what I would recommend doing if you want to get comfortable with it. What I would do is I would create a new slide and then make that a slide layout. So how do we do that? Well, we just have to go to our Edit Slide Layout, and what you can do is go and add a slide, just like you're in a presentation, but what you're going to do is add a new slide layout. I'm going to go with Quote here. Actually, let's not do that. Let's go with Title, Bullets, and Photo. What I want to do is reverse these. I want to create a new slide layout where my image is on the left and my bullets are on the right. So now I select this, and now we can see we have that here. So now this particular slide is in here twice. But now what I'm going to do is reverse this around. So on this one here, we're just going to, let's go ahead and make this a little bit smaller here. What we're going to do is bring this over to the left and bring my text over to the right. Now, of course, what we do need to do is rename this, because otherwise, well, we'll just keep it at copy so we know what it is. So now I have those two slide layouts. Now I click on Done, and if we go to Add Slide, you're going to see I have my copy where the image is on the left, and then I have the original where the image is on the right. So that's all we have to do to create a new slide layout. Now if I go and create some slides with this one here, let's go ahead and create a few slides here. I go and make some changes to it. And what I want to do is move that image. Maybe that image is over a little bit too far to the left. I don't want to have to do that individually to each one of these. Well, being that that image is on the slide layout, all we have to do is edit the slide layout. I move this over to the left a little bit, and we're going to move this over here. We're going to go extreme so we can actually see what happens. And now, when I click on Done, it moved it over on all three of those. Now what about text? Let's go and create a new blank slide. I'm going to go to Edit Slide Layout, and we're going to go and add a new slide. It's always best to try it with a blank slide. So I click on Blank Slide. I have my new slide. We're just going to call this Text. So I just go in here and let's just call this Text. So now I have my text there. Now what I need to do is I need to add text in here. So I click on my object here for text. We have my text here. I need to define this as placeholder text. If I don't do that, I'm not going to be able to change the text. Let me show you what I mean. I have the text here. Let's go and click on Done. Now I go and add that new slide layout. So let's go with Add Slide Layout. You're going to see I have my text here. Click on it. And when I double click on this, I can't change that text. It asks me to edit the slide layout. And if I edit that slide layout and then I change the text, it's going to change it on all of the slides that include this text. That's not really what we want to do. What we need to do is define this as placeholder text. Then we can change it on an individual slide basis. So now all I need to do is just select it. It is selected. Oops, let's try it again. It is selected. And then we go up under Format, and we go over to Advanced. Under Advanced, you're going to see Define as Placeholder, Define as Text Placeholder. I select it, and I can put in here whatever I want. Text goes here. So that is my placeholder text. Now watch what happens when I go back to my slide. You're going to see it says text goes here. But now what I'm able to do is click in here and change it to whatever I want. And when I add a new slide, I go over to my text. You can see it says text goes here. I can go and change this to whatever I want. I add a new slide, text. We have text goes here. And I change it to whatever I want. Now, being that this is in the slide layout, if I were to reformat this, change the color or anything like that, it would change it on all three of these. It's not going to change the text, but what it will do is change the formatting of the text. And again, what we'd have to do is go to Edit Slide Layout. Works the same way with images. If we go and add, let's go ahead and edit this. I go and add an image in here. Let's just go with photos, and I'm going to go with this photo here. There's that photo. Let's go and make this a little bit smaller. And now what it's going to do is add that to all of those 3 slides. So let's go ahead and click on Done. And being that it's a slide layout, we can see it's added to all of those. But now if I want to change it, I have to go back into Edit Slide Layout again. And if I make a change to it, it's going to change it on all 3, just like that text. So what do we do with images? We have to define it as placeholder images. So now I edit this, click on it, and then we go up under Format. We go over to Advanced, and I can define this as placeholder media. Select it, and now when I click on Done, we can see it has those 3 same pictures and the 3 same slides, but what I am able to do is click on this and change it on an individual basis. So now that one has that slide or that picture. This one has the default placeholder, so I click on it. We choose a different one, and I click on it, and we can choose a different one. So now I can have 3 different images on there on 3 different slides. But if I were to move this, you're going to see it's covering up the text. I go and edit the slide layout. So click outside here. Actually, we click on the slide. We go over to Edit Slide Layout. And we need to make this a little bit smaller. Let's put it in the center. We'll put it at top there. And now, when I click on Done, we can see all 3 of them. It is repositioned. But I still have the original photos in there for each individual slide. So those are slide layouts. They're very powerful. I would recommend that you get comfortable with them, because then what you can also do once you create these slide layouts, what you can do is you can create a theme based on these slide layouts. So let's say you have this all set. As an example, what I could do with my Keynote Mac class, now that I have it all set, I have the placeholder set and all that, what I'm able to do is save this as a theme. You're going to see it says Save Theme. And then all I have to do is create a new presentation, select my theme that I created, and create my class or my presentation based on that theme. And that's all because I'm using slide layouts. So let's go ahead. I'm going to save this as a theme, just so you can see how this all works. So I have that saved as a theme here. Now when I double click on this to create a new theme, we can see it add my 1 slide, but when we go up to Add Slide here, I can choose from my 3 different slides. So now I can create a new presentation based off of that original theme. So those are slide layouts, very powerful. It also makes it very easy to make changes to a number of slides without having to go to each individual slide. It does take a little bit to get used to understand. What I would recommend doing is creating a new presentation and playing around with some of those themes. Double click on any one of the objects when you add a new object to a slide. When you do that, you're going to be able to edit that slide theme, or just select the slide and go over to the right under Format and you can edit the slide theme. Make some changes to it. See what happens to all of the slides that use that same slide layout. What you may want to do is create a blank slide for a slide layout, add some of your own text, add some of your own images, make sure you make them as placeholders, and then when you go and create a new slide, base it off of that new slide layout, you're going to see it's going to be formatted just like the slide layout that you created. You go and make a change to that slide layout, all of those other slides are going to have that same change or reflect that same change. And then last, once you have it all set, you can save it as a theme and then reuse that same theme over and over and over with new presentations. So those are slide layouts, a very powerful tool, little bit to get used to. You have to get comfortable with them, but once you get comfortable with them, it'll make making presentations a lot easier. Slide layouts are basically what each slide is based off of. So you could have 10 slides based off of 1 slide layout. You make a change to that 1 slide layout, all 10 slides are going to reflect that change. So those are slide layouts in Keynote on the Mac.